Hey friends, how's it going? Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. It's right there, right? Today I've got a new clone unboxing video for you guys, or a new clone for me anyway, and some first impressions. So we're gonna do a comparison here, see how close the clone is to the real deal. The clone that I'm talking about is this one, Moonlit Night, the one and only. Does that look familiar to you? Look like something else? Potentially? Yeah. This is an obvious clone of the one Luminous Night, which the one Luminous Night is friggin' awesome. Hard to find. You know, it's sold out all the time. When it does pop up at discounters, it's still pretty expensive. So it's unfortunate because it smells great. One of the best the one fragrances ever with really good performance. Big attention grabber, has this great note of dates in there, just fantastic stuff. But in the US, good luck finding it, especially for a decent price. So that kind of opens the door for clone fragrances to come in and give you a good alternative that's easier to find and also way cheaper. So you gotta see if this is that, or if it's not so good. This one costs right at about $30 US. I'll have it linked in the description, so feel free to check it out down there. First off, let's go ahead and take a look at the presentation, and we'll open this up, spray it on side by side with the real deal, and see how close it gets. So here we got the front of the box. You have the size and concentration, Eau de Parfum 100 ml size, and the name, Moonlit Night, the one and only. Just very egregious with how much they're directly copying the look of the one Luminous Night here. Some clone companies go that route, others do not. Fragrance World obviously does. You have a logo up top, you have a little design on one side of the box, and on the other side you have a QR code. On the back you have your sticker of authenticity, gotta love that, and then your ingredient information along with your barcode. On the bottom there is the batch code, and my bottle expires January 2028. Let's open this up. Yeah. So the outside of the box has a little bit of that almost kind of rubbery feel. It does make it feel a little bit higher end, I guess. So it doesn't feel just very smooth. It's got a nice rubbery kind of matte finish. Open it up, and on the inside of the flap here it says, the one and only. Nice. Well, there she is. Let's put those side by side. It's like one of these plays professional sports. The other one played in high school and tells everybody, yeah, I could have been somebody. I could have been an all-star. If this would have happened, that would have happened. If the coach would have put me in, I would have made it to the bigs. One of these is that, and the other one actually made it. I'll let you determine which is which. So here we have the front of the bottle. You've got Moonlit Night, the one and only, right there on the front. Biggest difference is gonna be the cap. This cap is just really flimsy feeling plastic. It's really lightweight. Doesn't slide snugly into place really. It doesn't click into place. Yeah, the cap looks cheap. The cap looks rough. That's the biggest giveaway, isn't it? Little sticker on the bottom, and it has an FW on top of the atomizer there. So first things first, let's spray these out on tester strips, and then I will spray it on my skin. Just wanna see how similar or dissimilar they are with both ways of testing. So here we go, Moonlit Night, the one and only on the tester strip. Atomizer so-so, and then the one Luminous Night. It's going back and forth, back and forth. The initial blast, like the very first blast, is absurdly close. Super similar initially. As it settles here, there's a little bit of a difference that's starting to creep out, but it's a really good clone off a tester strip. You get a little more of the pepper in the opening off of the real deal than you do the clone. The clone actually is concentrating a little bit more on like that note of dates, the sweetness, that sort of ambery feeling. It has a touch of the spice there, just not as much as Luminous Night. That's a good clone. That is a high quality clone. But these, at the end of the day, don't matter that much. I test them on those just to kind of see how it comes across, because a lot of people, when they get things in, will spray it on tester strips, but time for skin. 3 sprays. Let's do the same for this guy. 3. Let that settle for just a second. Still a really good clone, really good alternative off the top, but there are some differences. I think a lot of people would consider them minor differences, but there are differences. This one, Moonlit Night, almost has a leathery kind of feel underneath it. Like a little faint leather note underneath, good sweetness. Not quite as much zing to this one as the Luminous Night. So Luminous Night, it has a little more pop to it with that spice off the top, that uber pleasant date note coming through, kind of creeping up in Luminous Night. That semi-candied sweetness with very nice smelling warmth kind of coming up through, and a touch of smoke. That's what's coming out of Luminous Night right now. Just a perfect date night fragrance, really. Wintertime scent, fall scent. There's a reason this gets so much love. It is just magnificent as far as designer fragrances go, designer flankers go, really solid. And it grows on you more and more. The first time I smelled it, I did like it, but man, it's just one of those ones that as you give it more wear, it kind of opens up more for you, and it just really, just nailed it. Sucks that it's an exclusive edition that's difficult to find. That's a bummer. Should have released that like just everywhere. Should have had a wide release. Yeah, let's go back to this one. It's very good, but it's not the Luminous Night. It's not quite there. It's not really a fair thing to say though, because it is a clone at the end of the day. But yeah, it's just not quite as high in terms of the quality. That leathery sort of undertone is slowly fading away, kind of stepping to the background. This makes no sense, but at times when I smell it, it's like a corn cob. Like for a split second, I'm like, this smells like corn? And then it kind of changes. But the sweetness, the way it comes across at times is, yeah, a little bit like sweet corn. The date's coming out more now, and this one, it just takes a little longer, I think, for that to step forward in the fragrance in the clone as compared to the Real Deal. And the Real Deal, you pick up the dates a bit quicker. Here, they're starting to come through, but it just takes a little bit. So far, there's only one other fragrance that I've really smelled that was a clone or part of a dupe of Luminous Night. This one is the best one that I've smelled so far. I think it's quite good. I'm gonna let it dry down though and come back and kind of wrap everything up. So I'll be back in just a couple seconds.
A few moments later.
What up, I'm back. So I let it dry down, also sprayed it on a second time. I did the opening of both of these again. Gotta say the second time around, the opening felt really close. So the clone was just like right there with Luminous Night in the opening. It was one of those deals where in the air, most people probably not gonna be able to tell much of a difference. In the dry down, there is a difference. And I would say that's where the biggest difference comes into play. And it is because the one Luminous Night, it has almost, like a sparkle to the amber, that kind of resinous sweetness that this has, the dates and the amber and the little touch of incense. It almost jumps off your skin. It's like it has good heft to it, good staying power, good projection and everything, but it also has sort of a lightness built into it as well. So you're getting like the best of both worlds. You're getting this kind of elevated, sparkling kind of sweetness, and then at the same time, it lingers for quite a while. And that's one of the things that makes the one Luminous Night stand out. So this guy over here, it doesn't have that bubbly kind of lightness to it. It still smells really similar to the one Luminous Night, but it doesn't have that burst. That's what's missing. So that's where you're gonna be able to tell between the two, I'd say the difference in quality. On its own, of the ones that I've smelled, which again, 2 so far, this is still the best, the one Luminous Night alternative. Like I said, the opening actually the second time around smelled really close, especially in the air. Much closer the second time I feel like than the first time. And so I would say the sort of weird leather thing that I had going on, like that didn't come through as much the second time around. So, but yeah, once you head into the dry down, there is a difference, and that is the difference. This one, the one Luminous Night, does smell higher quality, which you would expect. But this is still a great alternative, keeping in mind though that you're not gonna be getting that cool kind of combo that you get from Luminous Night, where it sparkles, but with notes that are typically much heavier. For $30 though, it's a really nice pickup, especially considering the one Luminous Night you can barely find, and when it is in stock, it's close to $100 typically. Sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. In terms of seasonality and everything like that, it's basically just the same as Luminous Night. When you would wear this, that's when you would wear this. So for most people, fall and winter maybe leans a little more toward evening wear, but I think daytime or evening. And where this is first impressions, first time I've smelled it, you know, I sprayed it on once on camera and then once off camera. I can't really speak too much, as usual, about the performance. It seems pretty much in line with Luminous Night, other than Luminous Night has a little more projection to it for me. Not like a huge amount, but just a little bit. This is good stuff though. Fragrance World, I've been impressed with most of the stuff that I've smelled from them so far. Blatant copy, but at least you know what they're doing, what they're going for, right? You don't have to second guess. Doesn't smell great from the atomizer. It smells really good off skin though, and off a tester strip, it's pretty stupid close. I mean, it's awfully good. I'm like going back and forth right now. It's close, man, it's close. I just wish it had that, like, that zestiness almost that you get from Luminous Night. That's what's missing. If it had that, it would be spot on. But that's the big difference. All right, guys, that will do it for me. If you smelled this one, let me know what you think about it. Like I said, linked down below. If you want a cheap alternative to Luminous Night, I mean, can't get much more similar than what we've got going on here. Yeah. Thank you guys. Stay safe out there. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you all later.